Hi everyone, it's Amanda here from amandarightnow.com, and you're probably watching this broadcast because you're in the secondary series group or because you're a secondary teacher trying to fit everything into one period, and it's crazy, it's hard, and I feel you. So let me give you a little bit of background about me. So I taught elementary school for 8 years, and that's where I was introduced to the workshop method for teaching writing, reading and writing workshop. And then I managed to get a job teaching 6th grade at a middle school where I taught a core class. So I had my students for 90 minutes. And then this year I was hired to teach. I volunteered at my school, the same school I've been teaching at for 3 years. I volunteered to teach 8th grade English because English is my passion, and I've always wanted to teach. Actually, I have my credential to teach high school. So I'm telling you all of this because as the years have progressed, this is my 11th year teaching. As the years have progressed, the time with my students has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. And I'm actually, I don't know how many weeks I've been in school now, but this was my first year teaching 8th grade. It's my 11th year teaching, but my first year teaching 8th grade and only having 54 minutes with my students. So it was a learning process, but I think I've got it down, and that's why I wanted to share with you what I'm doing. It's working. It's working, and it's awesome. And so I really want to share this with you all. And if you feel like this is valuable, then you should definitely share this with your colleagues as well. And yes, I am doing reading and writing workshop all in one period. When I first found out that I got the job and I finally am able to teach 8th grade English, I thought, okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. So I thought, okay, well, I'll alternate. I'll do reading workshop for 3 weeks, and then I'll do writing workshop for 3 weeks, and I'll just alternate it all year long. But that's not what ended up happening. So I wrote down some just like key things that have helped me. So I will say those. Oh yes, you don't have the hang of the workshop model. So maybe we should, I'm so glad you're here, Brittany. So maybe we should first talk about what are the key components of the workshop model. So the key components are a mini lesson that's really, really short and to the point, like 5 to 10 minutes max, where the students are silently listening. No one's raising their hands. No one's inserting, comments or anything like that. They're just listening, and they have their notebooks. And if you want them to use their notebooks to take notes, they can. And then you send them off to work. And that is just the precious time, the precious work time is when you're conferencing with students and you're basically assessing them in the moment and giving them feedback in the moment. That's what I love about workshop is, a lot of secondary teachers are like, oh my gosh, I have 160 students. How am I supposed to grade that many students? And I grade in the moment. I have a clipboard, so that's one of my tips. So anyways, so there's the work time and the conferencing, and then the end is the wrap up. They turn to a partner, say one thing you accomplished today, or you have a few volunteers share out what they worked on today. So I have a clipboard where I monitor who I've talked to, and it could be as simple as putting a check mark next to their name. I know I talked to this person. You could even write like a little statement about like one thing you taught them during the conference. And the conferences are super short. And I also teach mini lessons about, okay, what to expect when we have a conference. I spent a whole week on that. So I know I'm talking really fast, but I'm super excited about this. So that's workshop. I mean, Brittany, that's it. It's so like simple, yet so powerful, so powerful. And so how do I do both? Like, how do I do reading workshop and writing workshop? Here's the key. My students, they walk in every day, and as soon as the bell rings, I start a timer on my phone. and they read for a full 10 minutes. And I have my clipboard and I'm grading them on their reading behavior. So if, do they get their book out immediately? Do they take, are they like lollygagging? Are they chatting with their friends and taking forever to get their book? They're not allowed to look for a book during that time. I have a chart of times they can find a book, and it is not during that 10 minutes of precious reading time. They know that during that 10 minutes, they need to be reading, not looking for a book, because there's other times that we look for a book. They can come before school, after school, during study hall. They can come like during work time. If they finish their work early, they can go to my class library. So reading workshop, one of the hardest things about reading workshop, in my opinion, is building your class library. Donors Choose is amazing, half price books, library book sales, just accumulating popular books, getting kids to donate books. And so basically, in that 10 minutes, I don't teach a reading workshop mini lesson. I'm having conversations with my students, and I have my clipboard with me always. So I'm talking to them about all sorts of things, like, tell me about what's happening in your book right now. Tell me about a character and how they've developed over the course of the book. Could you recommend a book to this person? How did you find this book? What made you choose this book? And I'll talk to groups, 4 people at a time. And I have rugs, and so my kids can kind of spread out. So if they're distracted by conversations that I'm having with them, then they can move to different areas of the room. But that's the first 10 minutes. And then the mini lesson comes after. So that's the crazy part, is that my kids read for 10 minutes, and then I teach them some quick little reading skill. Now, we are going to do a class novel soon. We're going to be reading Chains, and my whole team does this, but we're using a system called Whole Novels for the whole class, where students read at their own pace. And there's supports for that. I should do a broadcast about how that book suggests you teach a whole novel. It's very different, unique. I highly recommend people read it because it's really differentiated for different types of readers. And so I'll teach a little mini lesson, I'll do a book talk on a book, and it's really quick. It's 2 minutes, so this is just the first 12 minutes of class, just the first 12 minutes. So they've already read for 10 minutes. 5 of them have had a conversation with me about the theme of their book or how they picked their book. And then I'll do a book talk, or I'll have them do book talks together, or I'll teach some sort of reading strategy. And then I start the timer again, and I say, okay, everyone, come to the meeting area. So we have a meeting area, and I time them, and I track every class's time. How quickly are they able to come to the meeting area? The best time so far has been 24 seconds. So, but they're always competing with other classes, oh my gosh, how did first period get 23 seconds? We want to beat them, but they don't run. And they always bring their writing notebook. They always bring their writing notebook to the meeting area. And I time them, and they're quick and they're quiet. And then I start immediately, and then I start another timer for myself. So my cell phone is really, really important. So I start a timer, and I don't go more than 10 minutes. Sometimes when I'm saying something really, really important at the end, I'll go longer than 10 minutes. Or if someone has been really disruptive during my mini lesson, I'll go more than 10 minutes, and I'll say, this is causing the mini lesson to be longer. And they don't want to sit there listening to you talk, sitting on a rug for more than 10 minutes. By the way, my students, they sit all over. They don't just sit on a rug. They sit on tables. They sit on desks. They sit on the counter. And so they're all kind of crowded around, and they love it. They really do. They love it. And they get to sit where they want, and they all have their notebooks. And so that's, so they come to the meeting area. I teach them a quick mini lesson, about whatever, and this is the writing workshop portion of my 54 minutes. So what is that? That's 22 minutes right there that we've, and then the rest of the period is them working, doing the important work of writers. Or if we're reading Chains, they might be doing some sort of mini project involving that class novel, or, we'll do Socratic seminar, things like that during the work time. But that's it. And honestly, my ultimate goal as a reading and writing teacher is to teach building independence. I feel like that should be our ultimate goal, because we want these students to become effective readers. We want them to become effective writers. It's about them, and it's about them. It's, because a lot of times it's really overwhelming, especially when a student is really, really struggling. It's like we're having a conversation with them and there's so much wrong with their writing. What do I focus on? Because the conference should only last 5 minutes. Pick the most important. If the student is not using paragraphs, then focus on the paragraphs. Don't focus on the ideas or the dialogue or the theme of their story or whatever genre they're writing. Focus on like the basic skills that they need, and really praise them a lot during the conference. And I really highly recommend, is this backwards? How's It Going by Carl Anderson. It talks about how conferences aren't really conferences, they're conversations. And you're not teaching the writer, you're not teaching the writing, you're teaching the writer, the kid. Like you're trying to help them develop skills that they can use, not just on that writing piece, but also throughout their career as a student or even, as an adult. So that's how I do it all in 54 minutes. Feel free to share this if you found it valuable. Please go visit Amanda right now. I write curriculum for writing teachers. I do it all for you. It's pre-packaged, like it's everything. It's writing mini lessons. It's links to videos that relate to the mini lesson skills. It's charts. It's writing samples, it's links to mentor text and just inspiration for mentor text. And I sell that as a monthly subscription for $15 a month, but you can try it out for free to see what it is. So you should visit amandarightnow.com and go check it out. Okay. That's all I have to say. I hope I helped someone out there in the teacher world. I love you all. Bye-bye.